live in South Florida, and today we're paddling in the Keys.
As soon as we left the dock, we headed straight for the mangroves because that's where all the creatures tend to hang out. I spotted so many of these upside-down jellies. They have a symbiotic relationship with tiny algae that lives in their tentacles, so the jellies actually get their nutrients by laying upside down on the seafloor to expose the algae to the sun, kind of like a solar panel. As we got closer to the trees, I realized there was a whole flock of great egrets just perched in the branches. It was such a beautiful day. The sky was so blue, but there was this big X in the clouds, which I could have seen as a sign not to go through this little break in the mangroves, but I decided to go for it anyways. This definitely looks like somewhere a crocodile might live, so I was making sure to check my surroundings very carefully since I know they've been seen around here a lot lately. I made it to the other side of the tunnel when I saw this long, dark shape moving towards me close to the edge of the mangroves, but it wasn't a croc, it was a manatee. I was so excited. We had paddled pretty far at this point, so we decided to turn around and head back towards our canal, and that's when we spotted the cutest thing I have ever seen in the water, a baby spotted eagle ray. It was about 6 to 7 inches wide, and it was just drifting along at the surface. It stayed there for a few minutes and then dove back down towards the bottom. This was the first time I'd ever seen a small one like that, so I thought the day couldn't get any better, but to my surprise, I saw 2 little snouts break the surface and realized it was a whole family of manatees. There were 3 total, and they were super curious. They came right over to our paddle boards and were even kind of nudging them a little bit. The baby manatee really wanted to investigate the GoPro we dunked in the water, and just look how cute its neck wrinkles are. It looked like a happy little marshmallow. Manatees can grow up to 13 feet long and weigh over 3,000 pounds, and they're actually related to elephants, which honestly makes sense because their skin is so similar. Manatees are also thought to be the real-life inspiration behind all the mermaid myths back in the 1400s when sailors would see them surfacing and diving down after having spent months at sea. The manatee family ended up hanging out right by the dock of the house we're staying at for a pretty long time, so we got to watch them from the balcony for the rest of the afternoon. I love being in an area with so much wildlife, and I can't wait to see what we encounter next. But until then, thanks for joining me on my paddle. I'll see you next time I'm on the water.